Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Rivalz Race Chat for another Tuesday as we get set to go here. Adam Ross and Clinton Geoffrey, as usual. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm all right, man. Happy Tuesday to you.
Yeah, it's always a happy Tuesday till the technical stuff doesn't work here at the home office, and then you start panicking a bit. You know, you start doing about 10 minutes in, and then next thing you know, you're on the air. So,
You,
what's
you
going
know
on,
what,
buddy?
though, Clint? In fairness, I was sitting with Angie watching the news tonight, and the weather person sounded like we do, like they were in a different room. So it's not just us; it happens at every level, and it is equally as annoying when it's somebody else.
For sure. We are expecting Treyton Labs to join us to talk about an exciting deal he's got going on. We also have extended the welcome out to Dave Bailey, so we'll see if Brewster Baker can figure out the technical stuff too, and Bessie can help him get on the air. So we'd love to hear what he's got going on. So excited about that. Of course, our quick fire starter. If there's anything you want to talk about, chat about, and I see a couple of comments up already, we'll talk about some of the KOT SOS situation going on there and how that all came about as well. So we do have that to discuss. Spencer, you might want to add that to the bottom of the rundown to make sure we don't forget about it. Of course, our good friends at Fast Eddie are having a T-shirt clear out. If you can, show that screenshot, Spencer, before we get too deep into it. Great time to go over to Fast Eddie. If you haven't checked out what they've got going on their website and all their other stuff, it's a great deal. You can find a lot of great specials going on there. Just log them on. You can find them on Facebook as well. FastEddieSpeedwear.com. T-shirts from just $10 or $15, and they have some great styles over there. That was one thing when we went for our meeting. Some of the samples they pulled out were amazing and some great stuff. No matter what kind of gearhead you are, if you're into, you know, making it happen on the blacktop or the dirt or the drag strip, check it out. They've got everything you could want. Um, where should we go, Adam? Well, while we wait for Treyton Labs to get into, we're going to recap a bit of the Ushweekend Speedway Banquet. We'll talk about cars lowering the tour's age to 12, and that may be a good topic to also talk about with Treyton because that might have affected him a few years ago. So we'll see his thoughts on that and how that comes about. Let's talk quickly, Adam, about the SOS and the KOT. So obviously we put the KOT together to get sprint cars through the pandemic to keep the 360s healthy when at that time the SOS management weren't prepared to work anything out or couldn't to keep the cars racing. So we got a few deals together. We the first season we weren't on under any banner, and then the last two we were under the KOT banner. With Peter Turford taking over the SOS, let's face it, Adam, we fight for the same tracks and the same drivers, and we basically share both of those things. So it didn't make any sense for us to both be um, battling in the same way. So Peter and I met and figured it would be best to pull on the rope together. As we preach about here on this show all the time, there's just too many divisions, and for the same type of cars. So amalgamating it all into one, G-Force will bring some coverage to the sprint cars and continue our end of that. They're going to continue with the level of payout and point fund that we've been at. So it's exciting stuff to get us all working together.
I think it's win-win, Clinton, and I think it allows the sprint car teams to know they don't have to invest in two different travel schedules if they want to go racing, right? You can focus on if you want to race it race it weekend. If you want to tour, you can tour with one series and not have to pick and choose. The payouts are going to be good. Like you say, it just made sense.
Yeah, so we still continue to work with Peter to work things out. The tire still seems to be the big question on where they're going to go with that. But we want to wish them the best of luck. And of course, obviously, with my day job, it makes sense to keep the 360s healthy. When you look at how we started the pandemic around 20, 21 cars average at Ush Weekend in 2019, we come out of it this year at 27, and I think we're going to be even higher with that because I see a lot more people coming out of the woodwork to get on board, and I see Alan Downey's the latest one to be selling and making the move up, so that's cool. And more people are coming into the crate, so we're in a really healthy time right now. Nathan Ackland had a complete championship winning engine and car package for $16,500 for sale a week ago. Like, where are you going to get into a top level car like that, at a semi pro level for $16,500 and go for it?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's crazy.
absolutely.
So good to see a lot of people getting in on that, and we're excited to have that go. So follow that. We'll keep you posted on how that all works out. course, want to mention our new sponsors here on the screen is right now, cigarport.ca, and of course our friends at True North Bet. True North.bet, I should say. Give them a look up if you're here in Canada. But some more news, Adam, came across my desk today, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing it, but I'm gonna, because what can they do? They can just yell at me. But Friday Night Thunder got the okay yesterday, I'm told, to be back on the air for a fourth season. So that shows that, a national network here in Canada believes in what we're doing, believes in the culture we're showing off. And, the show's been great. It's on Sunday nights now on APTN at 7:30 here in my neck of the woods anyways. Check out your local listings. But if you're anywhere in Canada, you get it. APTN, Friday Night Thunder, fourth season coming back at them. I think it's cool. I think they do a great job showing us off.
I'm not ashamed to say the Hill brothers are my favorite characters on that show. I mean, they follow some great talent between Derek Miller and all he brings to the table with music and racing. Glenn Stiers. I mean, there's some legendary folks, but I still like what the Hill brothers have, and just the comedy. It's comedy because it's not written as comedy. It's just people being themselves, but they're so likable.
Yeah, I mean, the Hills brothers, they end up getting the Dedication to Racing Award for the division at the Ush Weekend Banquet. And, when you first think about Dedication, you don't think of the Hills brothers. But then all the little fine points, and this is why we do the poll at Ush Weekend to find out who should be winning these awards. Some of the comments came back, and look, they did the lacrosse giveaway. They were big up on the bikes. The back to school, they're buying tons of them. All these things that are great projects to give back to the community, and it's great to see them reaching out. And I think we gave away over 100 lacrosse sticks and balls to kids one night at Ush Weekend, which was awesome, courtesy of the Hills brothers and Brandon Stiers, which is super cool that we can do that for the next generation. And man, we can keep giving the ways at the track. It's a great promotion for the Speedway too.
I If it wasn't for you, I was going to make a comment. They had posted the next day, and Greg Callan and I were talking back and forth. But Matt Hill had tried to give away his, or not give away, but sell some tickets. I think he was going to give them away, some tickets to the banquet that he had left over. And I didn't see the post till the next day, but I was actually going to put something in. I hear the award ceremony still going on if you want to get in and catch the tail end of it. That was Saturday afternoon about 3 o'clock. But I thought, no, Clint would see that and he'd lose his shit. So, but it was funny to me, and I shared it with Greg Calman.
It's all right. It's all right. Question is, how do we watch Friday Night Thunder? Is there a channel, a subscription? There is an online way you can watch.
Oh, did we lose Clint? Or is he deep in thought? So APTN network, which I think most TV providers have, but Google.
Yeah. No, there is an online way. Let
documentary.
me look that up. I'll get that back to you right away on how you can watch it online. But if you have Bell, you should be able to get it. Look for APTN, Aboriginal People's Television Network. Check your listings, and you should be able to find it. Our first guest is ready to join us, Adam. Let's get Treyton Labs on the line, and he's got some cool stuff going. Let's talk to him about it.
Treyton, what's going on, man?
Not much. We got some cool stuff in the works here. We're headed to Germany next week, but no, right now we're home from school for the day.
And how has school been going?
It's been good. It's been busy for sure. It's some different, but I'm liking it because I'm getting to learn something that I'm interested in. So I'm really enjoying it, learning a lot.
Treyton, maybe tell the viewers who aren't up to speed on your education where you are and what you're up to, what you're studying.
Yeah, so this September I started at the Schulich School of Business at York University for my Bachelor of Business Administration. So I moved away from home, started of September as well. And yeah, we've been going there. Like I said, it's been fun. It's been a great experience so far. They definitely pile the workload on you, but I mean, it's a lot of skills that I'm learning to deal with that and also maximize my learning.
Are you at the main campus, Treyton?
Yeah, I'm at the Kiel campus.
Living in residence?
No, not residence this year. I kind of missed the boat on residence, so I'm living in my own little apartment off campus, and so far it's been smooth. I got in a decent area, anyways.
Yeah, it's
Treyton,
hit and miss. That's a wild part of town.
Yes, yeah. I'm a little bit away. I'm more in Richmond Hill, so I'm about 15 minutes away. As long as the traffic's and working in my favor.
no, we got a lot of topics to cover, Trayton. First off, the news of today coming out. You got your Pro Late model for sale. Someone says anyone looking for a Pro Late model, you got one for sale. What does that mean for Pro Late model fans? Is this an upgrade of equipment? Is it you moving on out of the division for a while, or what's the thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really sure what our plans for next year are. We don't really know if we're gonna have a lot of time to run the Pro Late model, and just obtaining the funding to be competitive in the Pro Late model, especially with my brothers, and I have a lot of racing going on in the Pinty series as well. So hopefully we can continue that into next year. And no, so we're moving it while we can. Hopefully next year we can get back to the Snowflake again and do some bigger races down south. But for the most part, we don't know what our future holds for Pro Late model racing in Ontario throughout next summer. So right now is definitely a good time. There's a lot of people looking. So yeah, if anyone's interested, it's definitely a great car. Best of the best on it.
So instead of going to the Snowflake and the Snowball this year, tell the fans where you're headed, or why you told them you're headed to Germany. Tell them why.
Yeah, so I'm headed to Germany next weekend, same weekend as Snowball for the. They have a big sim racing expo in Germany. I'm going there with D-Box Technologies, which is the sponsor of the iRacing International Series that I've been competing in. So we're going down there, and it's a 4-day event, I believe. And on the Sunday, I'm actually going to be running the International Series race live on the stage at the expo in D-Box equipment, representing them. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to get to enjoy the show for the whole weekend, and then to do the race on Sunday is going to be the big cap on it.
Trey, us announcers, we're good at doing races, but when we go to banquets, it throws us off, and any one of us will tell you we hate them. We're super nervous. Is this the same kind of thing with you, where you're comfortable being in your race car, you can handle the crowds, the pressure, but you get on a different stage, and now you're not in your fire suit, and you're not with your regular crew, and you're not in your own country? Do the nerves start to pile up already for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be different. Definitely, like I said, D-Box is going to be there. It's a huge sim racing expo, so all the big companies are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of people there, and like you said, being in a different country with a different language, that's going to be different. I can tell you that I don't know any German, so it's going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be my first time really traveling that far alone, my first time to Europe, so it's going to be a cool experience, and hopefully it will be fun.
Who's making the trip with you, Treyton?
Right now, it's just me. So I fly out on Thursday afternoon, and then I'm back home on Monday. There's a little bit of a time difference. I think they're 6 hours ahead, so the jet lag might hit me for sure. But no, it's just me right now.
Trayton, as we look forward to getting into something like that, do you get much practice time? Do you know, like, are you going to have a time, or are you just going to jump in the equipment and try and do your best on the big stage?
Yeah, so basically it's going to be a big stage that the rig's going to be on, with like 2 big screens that are also going to be projecting what I'm seeing, so that the whole crowd can see it. So the rig is going to be kind of off behind the stage for the whole weekend, like until the race. So I have opportunities to go behind the stage and practice as much as I need to prior to it. It's a little different. Like I'm really particular when it comes to my sim rig. I got to be comfortable. It's just I hate when people mess with my stuff. If my brothers are using my stuff, it really perturbs me. So I'm just gonna have to take my time prior to the race and get comfortable. Luckily, it's at Daytona, so I mean, there's not a ton of practice that goes into that. It'll be a lot of luck more than anything.
Still, so how many people are going to be competing live, and who are some of the notable people you'll be racing against, whether they're live in Germany or anywhere else around the world?
Yeah, so I think tonight we had 20. It was in the higher 20s. It's the Pinty series, the NASCAR Mexico Series and the Europe Series that are all combined for the international. Some notable names would probably be Rajah Caruth. He's from America. And then also Ruben Garcia from Mexico. He's won the NASCAR Peak Mexico title multiple times. And no, it's definitely a good series. We got a mix of ovals and road courses. So it kind of, everyone has their strengths for sure. And that really gets projected heading to both the road courses and the ovals. So far, it's been really good competition. A lot of fast guys, and it's been clean racing as well. I don't think last week, we ran at Vegas and we had no cautions at all. So that was kind of uncharacteristic for such a large field.
Treyton, as you go through business school, I mean, Adam went to journalism school, so I'm sure he was trying to map out how he's going to write how he's going to twist all the lessons to racing. And I was the same way with broadcasting when I was a young racing announcer in broadcasting school. Everything went that way. So you taking business now, I'm sure you're figuring out how you can twist some of the lessons you're learning into helping out your racing. How do you twist those into, these big corporate international sponsors to get them on the quarter panels of your race car and tie the iRacing thing to the real outdoor deal we've got going on?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. For the late model stuff, especially, I always work, for the most part, my own sponsorship deals, working with other companies and other people. So, I mean, going to business school, I think what it's taught me for the most part so far is interacting with other business professionals. I think that's something that you got to kind of get acclimated to, and being able to talk is a big thing. So, I mean, being able to sell myself. And like you said, the iRacing thing's huge. A lot of people are moving towards that digital space and live esports gaming and stuff like that. So it offers a whole new realm of opportunity for potential sponsors. And I think going to business school has taught me how to maximize that and really just allow myself to interact with more people and generate leads and also hopefully convert on some of them.
Now, Treyton, do you have a deal solidified for next year for the Pinty series? Like, is everything set in stone on what?
No, we don't have anything yet. I'm sure it's in the works, but nothing set in stone.
So, Treyton, I mean, you're taking business now. At what point do you step up and start making those deals? Who's handling that for you right now?
So I got a pretty good group of people at RGC Sports. Richard Coughlin leads the team, and so far they've done a really good job helping me to get into the race car. And I've always been, when I was kind of during COVID, when I was working more so on my own deals a lot, being able to lean on Richard and set up my own meetings and stuff like that, create my own decks. It's been really helpful to me. It's been a great group of people to lean on and also learn from as well.
Now, Adam, if I can jump in, I got one quick one for you, Treyton, along the same lines. We were watching the Tagliani podcast he did with Gary Clute, and Alex talked about selling himself. You just mentioned selling yourself right now. As a teammate to Tags, these long hours we sit around through all the rain delays that seem to happen on the Pinty series the last couple of seasons. Have you picked up anything from probably the best salesman in the business?
I mean, if there's anything about Tag knows how to talk and he knows how to tell stories. So, I mean, it's been definitely great seeing how Tag handles his social media specifically. Tag definitely does a great job with the social media. And, that's what companies are looking for these days is definitely the social media. It's where you can reach the greatest amount of people in such a short amount of time. So, no, definitely learning from Tag all the time and just trying to see what I can bring into my own social media and offer more.
It's so exciting, Treyton, to hear you talk like this because we've known you for an awful long time. And even in the way that you're talking about the sport now compared to the way you were talking 4 months ago, I can tell you're looking at things with a new set of eyes. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about, is it the Cars Tour, Clint, that just announced that they've lowered the age to 12 years old? What do you think of that, Treyton? Is this where does it stop? And is 12 the answer? Is it going to go beyond that? What are your thoughts on being that young behind the wheel of a late model?
Obviously I'm a little biased because I was behind the wheel of late model at 12. So I really don't think there's anything wrong with it, but the thing that I think there's a problem with is stepping into a late model right away at 12. I think, if you have experience in other cars, like I worked my way through the mini stocks for a season and then the super stocks, and it was really just making sure I was prepared to get into late model. So I think that's the biggest thing is having that car control, because compared to anything else, I mean, a late model is a different animal. So I saw one person make a comment. I can't remember exactly who it was. It was another NASCAR driver from the United States, and he was basically saying that, like, as the touring series continue to lower their age, which I'm not sure they really have, but I know to get into the NASCAR Pinty series and the ARCA series, it's 15 years old. So I mean, it's also not like you're going to hop into a NASCAR with very little experience. So then the series lower have to adapt to that as well. So the car store switching to 12. Like I said, I really think that as long as the person has the ability to hold on to the car and not put the people that they're racing against in danger, then I really don't think there's a problem with it.
Is 12 the bottom? Is that low as we should be allowed in this trading?
Yeah, I think in a late model, 12 would be the bottom. It's the other series, like if there's a street stock series, local street stocks, I think it all should be, I don't really know if they need a minimum age, but I think it would more so just be observing the potential applicants and like I said, seeing if they're worthy to handle the car. But as for a late model, I think 12 years old is not only where you have that skill set, but you also have to have a level of maturity too when racing with the competition.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to guys. You want to go out, you want to battle these guys, but you don't want to. A kid gets into you want to go down. He's 8 years old. You're like, well, what am I supposed to say to this deal?
I've been through that.
And I just, as from the promoter side, I do think we need some type of limits, because you'll always have that super parent out there who figures their kid's going to be the next Jeff Gordon at 4 years old and trying to cram them in when they're not ready. And then us as promoters, we're put in the judgment situation of, well, this kid is, well, you let Johnny in last year, but you're not going to let Tommy this year. It's because you like Johnny's parents or because you hang out. It's just black and white's the way to go from the promoter side. In sprint cars at Ush Weekend, our attitude's 14. You're welcome to race anything you want at the smaller tracks till 14, and then we just don't let anything on. And I know even the insurance companies don't want kids in there super young either, but they also realize it's the future of the sport. We have had some great talent come out of there. Treyton, how old are you these days?
I'm 18.
Right on. So nothing solidified for next year. Where do you see yourself? I mean, we all still envision you in the NASCAR Pinty series. That's where you intend to be, correct?
Yeah. I'm having a blast in the NASCAR Pinty series. Getting the experience on the road courses and the ovals is not something that you can do just racing late models. And I think being able to be good on road courses, like it's definitely something that adds to your skill set on ovals as well. Because if you talk about at the road courses, it takes a different level of driving, especially with car control. And I think carrying that over onto the ovals is really important. So yeah, the NASCAR Pinty series has definitely been a great experience. I think I do see myself in there for a few more years. But I think on the side, I definitely like to get doing more late model racing in the United States. We went to the Derby last year and then also Hickory in March. So I think we definitely want to do more of that. And that's kind of what our plans are for the coming years.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch. Treyton, we'll let you go pretty soon here, but in talking about the NASCAR Pinty series, did anything surprise you? We've talked to you a number of times since you've been racing there, but what comes to mind is some of the battles you've had, some of the hard battles you had with Marc-Antoine Cameron, for example, thinking to Newfoundland when you were out there. Did it surprise you that even at that level, there's still pests out on the racetrack? Like you never grow out of people getting under your skin on the racetrack. How do you handle that from people that are at a different level? They're at the professional level now.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a different style of racing. And I think being able to see both my brother and my dad do a lot of Pinty's racing as I was growing up, I think it helped, but it's also the same thing. You don't really know until you do it. So obviously I felt that the aggression level in the Pinty series is definitely higher than I'd say APC. Guys, we're running 250 lap races, and guys aren't afraid to rub up against you right away. So, like I said, I think, you spend a lot of, so far in my racing career, I spend a lot of time making sure that I'm the fastest and playing offense for the most part. But I mean, running the Pinty series, it kind of brings a new aspect. And I think that would almost be playing a little bit of defense. So you always got to be prepared.
Treyton, let's talk a bit about the dirt. You ran good there. Was that a shock to you that you're able to pull it off? Like, give us a day or two how that went for you. From time you come out, you practice. Even us as the promoters, we're looking at it going, it wasn't amazing after practice, wasn't amazing after the heats, but after that first caution, you guys started going 3-4 wide, 5 wide at the one point there. That's when we knew we really had a package. What were your thoughts over the 48-hour period there?
Yeah, I mean, the first day of practice, I was excited more than anything. I didn't have a lot of dirt experience at all coming into it. I did like flat track go-karts when I was really young, and then I did a legend race on dirt in the summer there. So dirt was new for me, especially doing it in a full-size stock car was different. So I think, the first day, we were all just trying to get our bearings, kind of see how far you could push it. I definitely pushed it a little too hard a couple times. I spun out a few times the first day. I put it over I was outside in the rough in turn 3 the one time, and I thought I lost it that time for sure. I thought I was done. But, I found the limits. And come into race day, we did a lot of work on the car for what we learned from the practice day. And the practice day was good. Honestly, without the practice day, I think the racing would have been a lot different. And I think we wouldn't have seen it be as racy as it was. Because I know our team, we made a lot of adjustments to increase the comfortability of the car and the drivability especially. So coming into race day, we really didn't know a ton of what we had, but we know that we learned a lot from Monday. So it was getting comfortable around cars as well. In the heat race, there wasn't a ton of action, but in the race, when we kind of felt that we could put it on the bottom and there was grip there as well, and then there was multiple lanes to work, it all added to it. And then I think that's why we saw a better race near the end.
Treyton, aside from yourself, having gone through a season, all sorts of races, dirt, road course, oval, rain races on road courses, aside from you, who is the best well-rounded racer in the NASCAR Pinty Series? Like, who do you think sets the level of excellence?
I would like the French guys are really good on the road courses. And I think the one that really stood out to me, being able to not only be good on dirt, ash or oval and road courses, it would probably be Andrew Ranger. I mean, the guy is great on ovals. He won Chaudier this year. He's obviously always up front on the road courses. And then on the dirt, he went from the back to the front a lot, I believe. So definitely really versatile. He's got a lot of experience, and he's someone that I can definitely learn from.
Treyton, I got one last one for you. A snowball derby coming up. We see a lot of the Canadians try and make their way down there, but it's a huge investment. Guys put all their good equipment out there right now. It's kind of hanging your stuff in limbo. Well, why? What's the draw for the Canadians to go to the snowball derby? Is it the biggest stage, the best spotlights?
It's the biggest stage. I mean, last year when we did it, we weren't expecting, obviously we would have been really disappointed if we didn't make the race, but at the same time, I mean, it was the difference of it must have been a couple hundredths, the difference between qualifying 10th or qualifying 34th and not making the race. So, I mean, when you go down there, you're racing with the best of the best. You got to be the best of the best, be on your game. So, I mean, it adds a whole different aspect. It's not only the event itself, but Five Flags is a really, really cool track. I mean, in the Pro Late model there, it's almost through turn 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, you're just lifting. So it's super fast, super fun. I was really hoping that we could get down there again this year. We just we weren't really able to put it all together. And then the deal to head to Germany all came up. So, really great opportunity to head down to Germany. I do wish a little that I was racing, but there's always next year. And then hopefully we can solidify a position where we're able to run there every year and do some more of that.
Right on. Well, good luck in Germany, Treyton. We'll be following social media to see how you do, and we won't ask you to come on the week after because you'll probably still be jet lagged. But we'll get you on before long and talk about the experience.
Yeah, even worse, the week after is exam week, so we'll see how that goes. But thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Right on, Treyton. Thank you for being with us. One of the best young talents Canada has to offer, Adam, and well-rounded. And there's no doubt, if you're an iRacing fan, that Treyton has put all those hours that he's going to fly to Germany to do in the past few years. I think, when you look at opportunities and everything, timing, it all has to work out. I mean, for as far as his iRacing career went, he peaked at the perfect time when the pandemic hit. It was the only thing out there, got all these eyes on them, right? And some of these iRacing kids really made a name for themselves in that department at that time.
It's big business, Clint. To go over there and represent D-Box, that's a global stage. That's a big investment for D-Box, a big opportunity for Treyton. And it's an opportunity that, unless I'm mistaken, so here's the deal. In motorsports right now, car racing is a pay-to-play activity.
Yep.
Almost to the very top, it is a pay-to-play. Kyle Busch is the perfect example this year. Results don't matter, performance doesn't matter. But I dare say, and I don't know everything about it, but I dare say this deal with D-Box, this is a business arrangement. This is D-Box investing in someone who can make them look good, and Treyton taking advantage of it. Treyton's able to make them look good. They can help Treyton look good. This is a real door open. I mean, this is probably the most real door for Treyton to have opened in his life. Caden Lapsovich won the championship, didn't get those doors opened. So this is a big deal, and I've thought, I'll get off my soapbox here in a minute, but I frequently think, what needs to happen to car racing to make it attainable? Right? I still love it, Clint. I love it more than anything in the world. But I really wish an average kid who's got the passion, the drive, and the skill set could find the opportunity to make it in this sport, because you can't. If the kid can play football, they can make it. If you can throw a baseball 100 miles an hour, you can make it. If you can be the best race car driver in the world, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the money to get rolling, you're not going.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you because I agree with you. That can be said for a lot of sports. So, I mean, look, if you have an ace hockey, a kid who's playing hockey, I mean, you're still going to have to go and fund a way to get them on a travel team, pay for the hotels. It'll happen, but it's a lot harder road. I mean, but racing the gap is definitely the wildest. Let's switch gears. Let's jump into our Burger Barn video of the week. This will be our Abby fly-in to start the live broadcast of the YouTube show here on GeForce TV of the banquet for Friday. This is Abby. So we said, you want to fly? And of course, Jenny's like, yeah, I'll fly. This is beautiful Carmen's. There's the new GSR chassis. This is Abby flying around a whole bunch of, I don't say drunk people, but flying around a whole bunch of drunk people. And just the skills of this, as this is how we opened up our banquet. And just some awesome stuff, man. That's about a foot off the ground he's flying there.
And the room did, the venue looked phenomenal.
It's just going to get better from here.
Yes, yep. Wait until we get in here and check this out.
The old guy nearly had a heart attack. And then he throttles up, and the room just seemed to go on forever in this shot. But yeah, 612 people showed up at the banquet. It was an amazing night. If you haven't seen it or you want to check out the champion speeches or anything else that you might have missed, you can catch it all here on GeForce TV. So that'll bring in our next guest. I don't even know how many championships this guy's won, umpteen times. And let's just bring him in. Dave Bailey.
The answer is most of them. That's how many championships he's won. And not many people can say that either. Dave, what's going on, man?
I just hanging out in the garage. Just brought the mini stock home today, playing darts with the boy out here and waiting for USAC races to start.
Okay, first off, Dave, excellent job getting hooked up to the technology, because that was my first concern when we sent it to you. It's not very mechanical; it's pretty much electronic, so we got that in. First off, what's the deal with the mini stock? Is that for your crew chief, Lucas?
We built that thing when COVID started, just pretty much because we were bored, and it's sitting here and people can take it out and run it, and hopefully it's not killed by the time he's old enough to run.
So, what do you consider old enough? What's your benchmark, Dave, to put your son in a race car?
He ain't ready. I don't know. He hasn't ran a go-kart or nothing, but as far as we're concerned, it's cheaper to build a mini stock than go-kart racing. So for now, he can hang out with me and learn. And then when it's time, he should have the knowledge to get himself going and not be a burden. He should be able to do it himself, I think.
Right on. You know, Dave, a lot of parents talk about, oh, my kid's my crew chief. You know, how involved is Lucas getting with this deal?
He doesn't really make tons of decisions yet, but he's here. Anytime we got to do a transmission change or a gear change or whatever, he's here all the time, knocking body panels out. And he can't really lift a tire. He can jack the car up with half a jack and stand on it, but he changes tires at the racetrack by himself. He does air pressure, and I don't double check it. We go out and do it, and he knows that it's a big deal, so he takes it seriously and gets it done.
It's awesome.
No, and that's pretty awesome. Because I'm trying to remember, Dave. You know, we raced go-karts together, spent a lot of days at the track. Did your dad help you much with the carts? Because I seem to remember you being there mostly on your own.
He was always around. Just he never had the luxury of racing cars. He had kids too early, I guess, or whatever, however that worked out. But he was a photographer. He was always around, and that's why I was always around. So I just was kind of the kid in the background, just paying attention. So I never started racing until I was 15, maybe. So I probably was around more race car stuff than he was, but he was obviously there helping. And I don't even remember as far as changes went, but there was Terry Watts was around back then, and Kim Bannier, just a whole bunch of people that were around, and I don't even remember what happened, but just it's not like I was super young when I started, and just kind of learned by the seat of our pants. But like I got to work on other people's stuff and help. So before I got into a car, I had a whole bunch of knowledge too. So I didn't start as a rookie. Nobody knew me, like nobody knew who we were, but we'd already learned a bunch of knowledge by working on other people's stuff.
Dave, I got a lot of things I want to talk to you about. You know, Pinty Series race, how that went for you. You know, how that experience was. Also, the state of the Thunderstock division right now. What changes we need to make, if anything. Let's start with the Pinty Series. Let's knock that off. We just talked to Treyton Labs, which he touched upon his dirt experience. You know, the series comes to your hometown. You know, you get a good opportunity. You know, your thoughts on how that went for you.
Well, obviously we ran all the laps and we didn't make ourselves look silly, but obviously we wanted to run better. We learned a lot what not to do, what wasn't going to work. Pretty much every time we went out, we had something new on the car, trying to sort it back out, and we kind of just ended up going back to where it was originally every time. So we learned that you're better off just leave it alone, probably. It was a blast, chance of a lifetime. Just once it was over, it was a lot easier to go back and reflect on like the time that we had, and just while you're in the middle of it, kind of doesn't even really seem real, and everything's just a big rush and just trying to get stuff done, get on the racetrack. And but yeah, I'm super pumped that we got to do it.
Did you feel the weight of all of your Ashweekan fans and even your competitors? Not that they were able to ride along with you, Dave, but you represented 120 drivers that race there every Friday night. Did you feel that while it was going on?
I don't know if I really felt it, but like you could see it, and it's the big circus. There's people everywhere, and when you're in the middle of it and you're focused, wasn't really a huge deal. But you get out of the car and you see, like, I see Rob Murray and Don Speast were there, and Hale was there, Beagle was there. Just all these people stopping by and like wishing you luck and whatever. Even Tebow came by, and depending on what you expected we were going to do, that determined, I guess, how you thought we did. Like, because there was people that thought we should have won that thing, and then there was people that were probably hoping that we'd fail, and we kind of up just right in the middle of that. And really, those guys are professional race car drivers. I think there was maybe one or two guys that finished ahead of us that didn't race for a living. So all in all, like, we did great. Just that's not what we wanted to do.
Right on, Dave. Let's talk about Thunderstocks. You know, you've won a ton of races, ton of championships. You know, that division still seems to be really healthy and puts on some of the best racing wherever we go in the province. You know, we're getting upon that time when we start talking about rule changes. Are there any rules you think that need to be changed in that division right now?
I don't see any reason why you change anything. All changing rules does is cost people money, and generally when people want to change rules, they want to go faster, and the guys who have the knowledge are going to take advantage of that rule also. So just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to change anything. But like, I guess I'm the wrong person to ask because we're the one winning races. I'm not against changing rules. It just, there needs to be a reason. South Buxton, they changed a bunch of rules last year and nobody even went with them. So
yeah,
a lot of people are just a lot of talk.
I don't see us changing any rules either. Go ahead, Adam.
You make great points there, Dave. What do you think the difference was? And you might not be the right person to ask, but maybe you are. What do you think the difference was with Ryan Beagle, especially in the second half of this season? Do you think he found something on the car that he was able to improve? Or did he just find the confidence to know that he can compete every night and make those moves?
I don't think there's anything he found in the car. I think that there's a little bit he found that I let him in on at practice at the start of the year. And then we were kind of on the same page since then. And it's tough because when you're trying to help people out, not that we got him where he was, but he was real close, and then let him in on a couple of things, and he's beating us. And that's the same thing. Mr. Rob Hoskins, back in the day in the mini stocks, we helped him out. He was parked beside us all the time, and you helped that guy out, and then he ended up kicking our ass for, I don't know, a couple of years until he pretty much wrecked every Volkswagen he had. But just although when you help somebody, they have their knowledge plus the bit that you help them, and all you know is what you know. You don't really know what they know. So I think that Beagle was fine. He learned some stuff, I believe, from listening to me at practice, and we just shoot the shit back and forth, and I think he caught on.
2 questions came down the chat, Dave. Question number 1, 305 versus crates. What's the big difference there?
I have no idea. It seems to me like I won a race in a 305 like way back when I had my first crate, probably at the end of the first year. Start of the second year, we blew it up at Merrittville, and then Miller had pretty much a bone stock 305 laying around, and we put it in the car. I won a race at Merrittville with it, and I won a race at Oshwegan with it. And if I thought it was better, I'd have kept it since then. Now it's hard to say what guys are doing with those things. With the cost of a crate going up, maybe it's worth it. Fawcett was fast. Kazenga had his moments. He was good sometimes and wasn't good sometimes. For me, if you're running in a crate class, I want what everybody else has. I don't know. Like some guys like Mike, he likes to build his own stuff, Kazenga, and like all the power to you. I'd rather just take it out of a box and bolt it in and go.
Last question here that Fran had. Do you see body styles advancing, Dave? You know, we've been stuck on these bodies. You know, as promoters, we dig our heels in and say we can stay where we are. Do we need to go to the new bodies, and maybe when?
I hope not. I have plenty of friends who run on asphalt, and I know what those asphalt bodies cost. And to quote Mark Rinaldi, when you let guys start to build their own, they look like a dog's breakfast. So just I don't see any reason. We got full fields. I think there was somewhere around 80 cars that ran a duel on the race or something like that. I don't see any reason changing anything.
It's well said, Dave. I mean, and I've got to thank you for. There's drivers. You haven't always been a fantastic interview, but you've really come along. And there's drivers who dominate, and it gets really boring to talk to them in victory lane or even watch them get interviewed. And I've got to tell you, all this time, I still enjoy hearing what you're about to say, or I enjoy the excitement of what's Dave going to say this week, because you really sort of shoot from the hip, and you always give us a good soundbite, and I appreciate that.
I might have got better at doing interviews, but it still doesn't feel no better.
Dave, let's ask same question. Adam asked Treyton Labs who was the best driver he drives with other than himself. You know, who's the best driver out there that you got to bang doors with every week, and maybe we're not picking up on?
That's hard to say. Banging doors with Murray every week at Maryville is tough, and that's probably where I learned the most. Just because he's relentless, he won't give you an inch, and you got to work for everything you get. So running against him, that's got to be why we got better. Where we got better is because I had during the pandemic, we went and ran at Maryville where he was dominant, and we had to figure that out. And running against a guy like that, it only makes you better. And then in turn, we go and run at Oshwegan, and Beagle, Hale, Trevor, like all those guys, they got to get better. And I think everybody it kind of raises everybody's level.
I think that's well said. It's a fun bunch to watch, and watching you guys come up from 17th, 18th starting spot, it's entertaining as hell, even though you seem to do it in 2 laps. It'd be nice if you stretch that out a little bit, but I understand you got to go places.
Yeah, it's that handicapping. It's a blast. It's Maryville. They started doing it to 8th or 12th, and starting in 12th is a blast there. Like, it's tiny, but starting in 12th at Maryville will be like starting probably 35th at Oshwegan. Like, it's not the like, it's tougher to get through from 12th at Maryville, but I like running through cars like that. It's fun. I don't know. We've been pretty fortunate the last few years to have no really bad luck, and it just kind of works out for us.
Dave, you know, people always chirp when guys like you run so well, you know, but I think our drone pilot, some of its imagery showed off the best. I don't know if you caught any of that, but it is giving away a lot of your secrets, and they're not really big secrets, but it just shows the line is the secret. And then that's my question is, how are you achieving that? Your car just rolls that inside block radius so much better. Everybody seems to be pushing up in the turns, and your car just hooks like a slot car. Is that a setup thing, or is that your talents? Where are we getting the ability to roll the corners way better than anybody else is right now?
I think most of it is just patience and just growing up running on pavement and not wanting, like, I don't think my car's a sprint car. Like, it don't need to be sideways. It needs to get in, turn, and leave. And a lot of people, that's why I struggled when I got in that crate car, because I've never gone into a corner and not lifted in my life. Like, I have to push the brake pedal down because it just seems silly to me to drive into a corner and not touch the brakes. So the street stock stuff, you get it slow down, calm down, and turn, and you can get back in the throttle and beat a guy off. And that was terrible. Getting off turn 4 at Merrittville is where you gain all your speed, so you can get in and slow the thing down and then get up underneath them coming off 4. It's just, you gotta be patient to make that happen.
Right on. Well, Dave, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. As I say, it's been fun. It's fun to watch because there are people that can contend with you now, but you still are the bar that we measure Thunderstock Racing excellence by. So thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Dave, how many championships is that? I'm just wondering. Hold up your hand. How many championships was that for you at Ush Weekend this week?
6.
Right on, man. All right, congrats, Dave. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks.
6-time champion at Ush Weekend, multi-time champion at other tracks. I agree with you, Adam. The level of skills have come in. But we had to cut Dave off because Adam's got a very special story he's going to tell us, whether he wants to or not. So last Friday, Adam's going to the banquet. Take it away, big dog.
Boy. So
this was my dinner entertainment.
Safety first, folks. You got to pay attention. So there was a lot going on Friday, and I text myself and set calendars. So I had to go to the Cal Tire in Cambridge last week, pick up some tires. I had to do someone a favor. So I set my alarm to do that. I had to stop at a customer in Flamborough. I knew I was going to have to fill up with gas because I didn't want to do that later in the day, but then I had to call the store before I left the gas station because I might have had to go 2 different directions. And then I got to get to, so there's a lot of stuff going on. I make my stops, pick up my tires, make my stop in Flamborough, get to the gas station. I almost left the gas station. I'm like, no, I'm going to pull over here in the back of the lot, and I'm going to call the store. That's what I needed to do. So I called the store, and Clint, I'm proud as punch because I've remembered all that I've got to do. If you're familiar with the Flamborough area, I fill up with gas at the Petro-Canada card lock. It's on Highway 5 right next to the quarry, right near where Grisdale Racing is. From there, I head down to Clapson's Corners, turn right onto Highway 6, go down the hill. Right?
Let me stop right there. So, just so people don't know what a card lock is, because some people may not know what it is. It's an unmanned gas station, right? You put your gas card in, you can fill up, but there's not really an attendant, correct?
That's right. You're there by yourself or with a couple other
I just wanted
trucks.
people to know what a card lock is, because the story is very important. Go ahead.
So I'm heading down Highway 5. I'm proud of myself because I got everything done that I needed to do. Towards Clapson's Corners, my phone rings. It's Ray from the shop, and he's got some technical shit to talk about, Clinton. And I'm trying to keep up because I got to give him the information he needs, and I'm struggling to understand. I get to the stoplight, and the fella in front of me stops his car, gets out of his car, turns around to me, and he's pointing at the truck. And shit, did I leave my safety lights on? I look on the dash. No, the switch is off. I must have left the gas cap out. I climb out of my truck, Clinton, and I look back. I've never experienced this feeling in my life. The gas pump handle is still hanging out the side of my damn work truck with about 8 inches of hose. So, holy shit. So I grab the pump out, put the cap in. I look around. There's Clapson's Corners. It's always busy. So there's people in their trucks looking and laughing at me. I'm like, holy shit. I throw it on the passenger side of the truck, get in. I'm turning down the cut. I've got to get back to the card lock. It's about 5 kilometers back up the road. I got visions of gasoline spewing out all over the parking lot of this yard. So I get back through the back roads. I get up. I get back to the gas station. Thank Christ, there's the hose laying on the ground, but it's got a safety. So there's nothing coming out. So I pull around towards the building at the back. Remember, there's nobody at this gas station. It's unmanned. And I see a card with a phone number on it. So I phone the 800 number. And I say, yeah. I said, I just ripped pump 1 right off the hose. And the lady was super helpful. She says, well, can I have your name, please? I told her my name. She says, do you mind just setting it on the ground? And I says, well, you don't want me to wait till someone gets here? Just, do you want to be there when someone gets there? No, I do not. Set it down, drove off to work. And Clint, you got to give full disclosure. I had to fess up. And this gets even better. You don't know this part. So it's the laughing stock at work. I mean, they're getting the biggest kick out of this. we have to do every month what's called a safety module. And it's just the first of every month that comes out, and it's on different topics. 10 o'clock Friday night, I get this email from Travis something or other. It said safety module, how to safely pump gas. I go, holy shit, did I just get this note from Cal Tire Corporate? No, it was our frickin' delivery truck driver playing a joke. He copied me and the two bosses of the store. And it was pretty damn priceless. I just replied to him and said, that's savage.
And you still have a job on Monday?
Still have a job. My boss, Sean Doyle, he goes out to Turtle Jack's most Friday nights. He says, yep. He says, there's people in the restaurant that were at Clapson's Corners today. They were asking me about the fuel pump. Jesus H. I'll never live that.
You never live it down. Hey, just tell them, technically, you didn't damage any company property whatsoever.
No.
Just the reputation a little bit more.
Yeah, I was so proud of myself for remembering everything. I mean, son of a gun.
Except to take the nozzle out of the side of your truck before you drove away.
It's a special kind of stupid.
That was good. I think we need to end the show on that. That was quite impressive. Once again, if you have any guests you'd like us to get here on the program, please feel free to send us a message or comment. We'll work on getting them out here. We have access to a lot of folks. We even had access to Evil Knievel's jump ramp at Snake River Canyon this season, so it's been a good year so far. Let us know if there's anything. Twitch it. Maybe that's a story for next week, but we'll let Adam decide whether he wants to tell that one or not. Because I have some input on that one too, but
I air all of my dirty laundry in public. That's
let's tell that one too.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there, but. That was it. That was my day.
All right. If we're telling stories, I can't wait to tell that one next week. If we're short on guests, hey, thanks to Dave Bailey, thanks to Treyton Labs, as two of Canada's best guys on both pavement and dirt, working it out on all the surfaces actually. So great, we can get them on. Once again, working on getting more of them. We appreciate everybody being part of the discussion tonight. Spencer, for all you do, always we appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We'll see you again soon.